Us Deshaun, so we're working really hard, and we're looking forward to it this afternoon about 2 o'clock to get out there again.
Where have you seen the biggest strides from the two rookies from when you first got your hands on them in rookie minicamp to now?
Well, there have been a lot of strides. The two biggest ones are probably presenting the play in the huddle and then also being under center. Neither guy has a lot of time on task doing either one of those tasks, so the more experience we can give them here in a short period of time, of course, the better off we'll be, and they both made great strides.
Coach, right now, what's new every day versus what's carryover?
A lot of carryover. So I know Tommy and Kevin have done a great job with the installation. For the entire offense, there's some significant new wrinkles, as you can imagine, from last year and the year before, but there's also a lot of continuity. So a lot of carryover from the spring on getting to get more turns at everything.
Bill, this is like, I think the first time we're talking to you. Just like, what was it like as like senior offensive assistant, and then obviously like you kind of got promotion, like how transitioning to this new?
Yeah, just really excited about being the Cleveland Brown. First 2 years, tried to help out in certain roles, and now being in the QB room, where I really started my career years and years ago, is great. Great to be back in the saddle.
Bill, it looks like Gabriel appears to be a natural at play faking. Is that surprising to you? He didn't do it the last couple of years.
It is surprising. He's done a really super job, especially the under center, play faking, and the footwork. He's remarkably clean, being asked to do those type of techniques.
What are some of the strengths that Shedeur has been exhibiting so far, and how has he progressed since we first saw him like in rookie?
Yeah, both rookies, Shedeur especially, both rookies have really progressed. There's a lot of newness for all rookies at all positions, jumping from college to the NFL game, and both these guys have progressed each and every day as they're getting more and more familiar. So, as you can sense from the tone of my voice, it's a blast to work with both of them. They're both going to have outstanding careers, I do believe, and so we're just at the tip of the iceberg right now.
As a coach, what's the key for you guys to balancing out those reps like you are with the veterans and the rookies, but also evaluating what you're seeing out there and trying to figure out what you're getting from what they're matched up with?
No, it's a delicate balance, like you implied. It's very delicate, and both Tommy and Kevin, the way they script practice and orchestrate the installation, they take everything into account. So they're doing a fantastic job. The guys are getting different turns in different scenarios, both the veterans, talking about Kenny and Joe, as well as the young guys, Dylan and Shedeur. So they're all supporting one another. There's great synergy in the room. So I really like the direction that all four guys are headed.
Bill, Deion Sanders has obviously been very vocal about your guys' relationship just over the years. What does it sort of mean to you, sort of have this full circle moment where now you're coaching his son at the NFL level?
Yeah, makes me feel old. Both of us, I think, are 57, 58 years old. That was 30 years ago that we were thick as thieves there with the 49ers that year. And so it's been great to stay in touch over the years and watch all of his kids grow up and become young adults. So really fun to be associated with Shedeur, at this level.
Kevin said, Nancy said that after tomorrow's practice, the offensive coaches will decide how to proceed with the fourth quarterback situation. What might you suggest at that meeting? How would you like it to go starting Monday?
Well, yeah, it'll be a great meeting on Sunday because we'll have these 4 plays, which is really these 4 days, which are block 1. And then next week we start putting the pads on, which is great. The more we can simulate game type situations for the QBs, the better off we'll be. So next week will be important. And I don't know if there'll be any earth-shattering or earth-shaking changes. I think it'll be a lot more of the same. All 4 guys are really making good progress, and Tommy and Kevin are doing a great job getting everybody their looks.
Hey, Bill, there's so much external pressure on observations on Shedeur just because of who he is. And you'll probably see that out here today with the fans. So how do you, as the quarterback coach, shelter him from that or prepare him for that?
I think I was blessed to learn a lot from my coaches, whether it be Mike Shanahan or Mike Holmgren or Gary Kubiak, about there are external pressures for everybody, especially for Shedeur, but there are for Dylan and Kenny, as well as Joe. The focus has got to be on the work. focus has got to be on the techniques, the 5-step drop, the 7-step drop, being accurate with our throws, and really if we can focus on our trade, the external factors take a back seat, which is where they should remain.
Well, Pickett was saying yesterday that he came back feeling a lot more comfortable in the scheme and kind of assimilated over those 5 weeks. Have you noticed that he's a little bit more efficient, a little bit more comfortable in the offense?
Definitely. I'm glad to hear that he said that because his first 2 days have been stellar. He had one throw where he was late yesterday, resulted in an interception, which is okay. We don't want interceptions, but at times we learn a lot from when we stub our toe, even more than when we have our triumphs. But he's had his share of triumphs these last 2 days, especially throwing on the run. Incredibly accurate for just jumping back into camp after us being off for a number of weeks this summer.
We talk so much about mental reps. What do you stress to those guys as they're not taking the physical reps, watching and trying to learn? What's the emphasis for them?
Yeah, there's only so many plays, in practice, and so when you do get a true rep, that's invaluable. When someone else is in there, we're trying to go through it in our mind and get a mental rep, as you alluded to. Those are helpful. They're just obviously not the same as the authentic ones, but we're trying to do our very best to make use of every single time, whether we're in the play or we're standing 15 yards back.
I was curious if you could kind of give like an insight for the layman. Like we're out there watching the different drills and different team drills, and I think that there's sometimes you guys are looking for different things, whether it's the red zone or driving the ball down the field. So could you kind of just give like a kind of inside look into some of those different sessions?
No, you're right. The different sessions have different areas of emphasis, whether we're in the red area or at times we're working on our pass protection and quarter turn adjusting our pass protection at the line of scrimmage, with the quarterbacks need to have a working knowledge of. At times it's just 1st and 10, 2nd and 1 to 6, where we can do run and play action. So those are all great scenarios for us to get time on task with.
So you haven't been asked a question about tackle yet, so it's not.
Good.
40 years old.
Is
Does he
he?
look like a 4-year-old?
No. He still can wing it. I met Joe when he was 16 or 17 years old in high school and watched him pitch sitting next to his dad when we were trying to recruit him to Virginia when I was coaching there under Al Grove. He ended up going to Pitt, but to watch Joe throw a baseball their junior year in high school and touch 92, 94, and then to see where his football career has gone has just been incredible. And he still, of course, is a complete 6'6" flamethrower. So so glad he's on our team.
As far as arm talent in the NFL, you could say he's still top 3.
Yes, definitely. I would say he's definitely elite, definitely top 5, top 10.
Bill, yesterday when Joe was talking about the importance of staying in the moment, each day, rep, like for the younger guys, especially when it's Dylan and Shador's first time going through this, how do you think they are doing that so far?
They're doing the best they can. It's a lot. It's a lot for any young player, whether you're the top pick in the draft or the last year. There's just a lot of adjustment between college defenses and pro defenses. So the way they align, the way they disguise, the way they study us, they know us better than we know ourselves. So it's a lot for any QB, and our two guys are doing a really wonderful job at handling it.
There's always
with the 2 joint workouts and evaluating 4 quarterbacks, how more beneficial is that besides the game?
It'll be good for our QBs, but it'll be good for all of us, especially seeing a different scheme than what we see with Coach Schwartz each and every day, which is great. Very multiple. We're getting well versed in NFL defense when we face Coach Schwartz and those characters out there every day. But working against Carolina and Philadelphia coming up here in August, we're really thankful that those dates are on the docket.
Bill, there's always so much.
With the kind of scarcity of reps for each quarterback in the way, what Shador yesterday, his red zone 11 on 11 period, snaps really threw him off. What do you try to get for that? I mean, when you have a situation like that, how can you make the most out of those kind of, blown up plays for the quarterback?
Yeah, I think we did our best yesterday with repeating those plays. But you're right, when something goes awry, that's a lost opportunity, and there's only limited opportunities. So we're going to try to be as clean as we can around the QBs with his other 10 teammates. And a couple times yesterday, being that we're getting back into camp mode and football mode after being off for a few weeks, there were some blemishes, that's for sure.
Bill, there's always different philosophies on how soon to play like a rookie quarterback. What do you generally want to see or need to see to feel like a rookie would be ready to start, like especially week 1 of the season?
Yeah, it's definitely individual. There's certain guys that are definitely ready, and there are other guys that could need some seasoning. I know Patrick Mahomes didn't play initially, neither did Aaron Rodgers, whereas we threw Matt Ryan right in there when we drafted him at Atlanta. So it's definitely dependent on the individual and his background, and also how is your team built. Um, there's just a lot for these young guys, like we talked about. So the more turns, the more experiences we can get them into, both in practice and these preseason games, the better. Because you really learn best from being out there on the field and taking your lumps, and also feeling like, hey, you may have this down pattern, so you can replicate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.